The first Devil May Cry is a game I absolutely adore, despite its imperfections. I love exploring the scary, gothic castle, filled with enemies that look like they're out of hell itself. I love the calm, haunting, yet gritty soundtrack that keeps me on edge. I love the stylish, high-tempo, harsh combat that kept testing my skills till the end. I love the moody, but at the same time cheesy story of the demon hero Dante, who at the end of his journey ends up embracing his father's legacy and too becomes humanity's savior. It was a game with tons of flaws. The camera often seems to have a vendetta against you. The game's difficulty is all over the place sometimes. Some of the enemies are incredibly annoying. A few of the missions aren't really all that fun, and there are times where the game's cryptic hints make the game more frustrating than enjoyable. Despite these flaws, it's an incredible game that everyone should experience at least once, and I, myself, recommend it. Now, you might ask yourself, how do you follow up such a great game? How do you make a game that's better than the game that literally changed the hack and slash genre? Well, you don't. This game is garbage. The game opens up with this cool ass intro that shows off Dante doing some crazy moves with some rock music playing in the background. Why the fuck do I sound like that? Anyway, just like in DMC1, the options in the start menu have practically nothing in them, so we just start new game. In the first cutscene we get to see Dante helping out some woman and...
You called?
Till next time, son of Sparta.
First mission, no explanation. Fuck you. The first mission starts really similarly to the first mission in the first Devil May Cry. It's a quiet area where you can figure out how to move Dante around. However, in Devil May Cry 2, the area is way larger compared to the one in Devil May Cry 1, which foreshadows a big problem that's present throughout the whole game. Dante's run is too slow for these huge maps. Every time you want to walk somewhere, it takes a few minutes too long, which makes the game really drag on and hurts its pacing. This wasn't a problem in the original Devil May Cry, because the areas were made with Dante's movement in mind. The other issue with these stages being so big is that most of these places are straight up empty. Most of the time you are just walking aimlessly. In the first mission we also get to try out the game's combat for the first time, and... guns. The combat mechanics of DMC2 are one of the most infamous things about it. It is true that the guns in this game are 90% of the time the best choice in combat, but even if you try to ignore that, the game's combat is incredibly pathetic. First, the swords. In the first game, the close combat was super fun. You had lots of combos and special moves that you could use to get rid of hordes of enemies in your way. In DMC2, you can perform like 3 combos and all of them are based on the rotation of the stick instead of timing like in the first DMC. Also, all of them look exactly the same and do exactly the same damage, so in actuality you have only one combo, which isn't even fun to use because Dante's sword is really slow in this game. To sum it up, the close combat in DMC2 is boring and unsatisfying. Second, the enemies. The enemies in this game are just plain bad. The hitboxes on them are all kinds of wrong, with them being able to hit you when they shouldn't, which makes most of the bosses pretty annoying. They also are really unengaging. Most of the time they just walk around without doing anything. The game also spawns them like crazy, forcing you to kill hundreds and hundreds of them before you can progress further. I sometimes had to pause and look up a mission on YouTube to see if I was doing something wrong, because the game just kept spawning them. But no, that's 100% intentional level design by the developers. Third, the shop. In the first Devil May Cry, you could go to the shop before the mission or during the mission by going to these weird statues. In the shop you could buy healing items, health upgrades, devil trigger upgrades and powerful special moves. You couldn't buy all of them in one playthrough, which made you think a bit more strategically about what to buy. Do I buy a special move that will help me with combat? Or maybe I should buy lots of holy water because that boss fight keeps beating my ass. It made the game more interesting, and helped make each playthrough more unique. The strategic aspect in DMC2 is completely gone, due to handguns being the best option, which ends up in you only upgrading them because why wouldn't you? It's the best weapon in the game. Again, why wouldn't you? The joy of having a new move to try out is also gone in DMC2. In Devil May Cry 2, the moveset that you start out the game with is the same that you will finish it with. You can't get any new moves that make the game interesting. You can, however, upgrade your weapons, which make the weapons do more damage. That's it. Okay, so the game part of the game sucks. But hey, maybe the story is awesome. Maybe it was fucking written by Shakespeare. What do you think? No, seriously, I mean, I know I have fucking really low bar for games. I mean, shit, I like Babsy 3D. I actually think that more the fucking chicken is a fucking ironic masterpiece, but yeah, no, this game's fucking ass. This game's straight dog shit. After the first mission, you get a cutscene where Dante meets some old granny that pretty much says, "I will tell you a story about your daddy if you beat the evil demon dude." Oh. Then the second mission starts, where you go to some underground temple. I don't know why really, the game doesn't explain it, so how should I know? Then in the third mission you are back to the town from the first mission, except it's dark now. And the game spawns more enemies than there are people in the world. First boss of the game. Monkey. Whoa. Guns. You just use guns. It's an easy boss fight that's also quite annoying because its hitboxes are all fucked up. It's also super boring because the monkey does the same 3 moves throughout the whole fight, and also he has shit tons of health, so you will probably be doing this for 10 minutes straight. The fourth mission has you fighting this octopus boss fight. This is one of the worst boss fights I have ever seen. I literally had to do this for like 30 minutes because I didn't know how to hit it otherwise, and now I'm questioning my life choices. Thanks game. Anyway, mission 5. We are now in a city, and we get to have the most intense fight in history of gaming. After that super duper amazingly hyper action packed battle, we get to meet... Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. You know, I wouldn't mind these boss fights being a total boring mess of bad ideas if it weren't for the amount of time you have to spend fighting these things. Like, look how little health I'm taking from these guys. Like, holy shit. There's another boss fight after that, where, just like before, you use guns. Mission 7 we are in some factory and... Wait, pause. You might have noticed by now that I'm saying practically nothing about these missions. This is absolutely intentional, because to be honest, there's nothing to talk about. Every fucking level in this game is literally the same thing. You walk mindlessly around the place, fight the same enemies over and over again, and fight some shitty boss that has infinite health and barely does anything or is incredibly annoying. That also happens. Each mission feels the same. It's like I'm fucking Sisyphus carrying that fucking rock. Yeah, show the image. Yeah, that image. Yeah, it's pretty much, this game is pretty much that. Yeah. Compare it to DMC1. In every mission, you explore a different part of the castle, with a different objective each time. Some missions will be super short, some will be longer. Some will have you just looking for an item, some will be constant high action fighting. Adding it up with the great combat system, simple but good story and amazing atmosphere, it made the game feel unique and interesting. It made it fun to play, which this game fails at. Anyway, back to the story. You meet the bad guy, he escapes, you go looking for the artifacts. The game doesn't tell you that, so you just kinda go to places for no reason. You don't know that for like most of the fucking game. You give the bad guy the artifacts that will make him super strong, Great writing, by the way. You defeat him and escape with Lucia, that girl we saved in the opening mission. Lucia is a demon made by the bad guy, nobody cares. You go to the bad guy's hideout, you fight masks, you meet the bad guy again. Plot twist! Dante had swapped one of the artifacts when he gave them to the bad guy. Whoa! You fight the bad guy. This is literally the same fight as the last one. You defeat him, you go to hell, fight the blob, you fight the fireman. The end. If there weren't any cutscenes in this game, nothing would change. You will get the same amount of story either way. The characters in DMC2 are not interesting in the slightest. Dante has no soul, the villain is just kinda there, and Lucia is also just kinda there. The music is pretty good. It has the same dark, atmospheric energy that the first game's music had. The graphics are okay for PS2 standards. The game looks pretty good, but it's really easy to tell that the last few missions were rushed. Like, for example, mission 16 has most rooms made out of squares, and mission 14 and mission 15 reuse assets and level design from previous missions. Overall, DMC2 fails as a video game in my opinion. The entire game consists of you holding one button and occasionally dodging. The game's difficulty is a joke. The game is full of boring and repetitive level design and bosses that have annoying mechanics or ones that are unengaging to the player. The game's story is dull and barely pleasant, and what's there is not worth sitting through. DMC2 is something of an enigma. Despite its numerous flaws, it ended up selling really well, allowing the Devil May Cry series to continue existing, which resulted in my opinion, the greatest game ever being made.
Wanna know the name? Devil May Cry.
See you next time, the Devil Hero.